Hi guys. Hi. I think I'm probably wearing the same outfit as yesterday, so like don't, it's just like pajamas and I don't know, it feels clean still or I would have washed it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm Celeste and I haven't got ready for my day or anything yet. I'm just gonna eat some ramen. I don't know if the texture is like it's fully cooked. I think it is. Spells. Not a specific thing though. Is this fully cooked? I think so. You know when you can't tell if it's like a tiny bit undercooked or if it's done? Like the tiniest bit though. Ow. I really can't tell. I think it's fully cooked. I think so. I also have hot coffee. Yeah, because those go together. You know? Wow, this was not fully closed when I decided to shake it. The sugar, but there's a little bit, but not a lot. I still don't know like what color I want my coffee to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I want it like I think I already put in too much cream. I don't know. How do people find out these things about themselves? They just decide? Or do you like try to always find out like a million times? And then one day you're just like enlightenment, like now I know. Like how do you get that? Where does that come from? Like I know it's just your personality, but like how did you know? How did you know when it was the right like coffee recipe? Like how did you know? Like did you instantly know it was the one or did it take you so long? Like what does that mean? How would you find out? I don't know how you would find out. I don't know. Because I feel like so many people, they're so sure about and like established in like their preferences in their life. Mine would change like every day if I had preferences at all. Like I would not, I don't know. I haven't finished trying to find out like how to find out if I have the right coffee recipe. You know? Like but I think part of it is being afraid to have a favorite like brand or type of item in this life so much. 1 second, I'm gonna turn the light, get my tripod from wherever it is. I think it's in my bed. I don't know why. I seriously don't know why. So I will grab my tripod, turn the light, and move you over. Oh wait, first I have to put the like spicy like chili sauce in the ramen. I have not done that yet. Like I literally just took it out of the microwave. It already has like the seasoning, but like, and like tiny pieces of vegetables, but like low-key I don't really eat those. I just like eat everything else. I also don't really drink the broth. I really only eat the noodles when they're spicy. I don't care about the rest of it that much. But, okay, because like, first of all, the vegetables in there, they're just like random. Like, it's like, what is it called? I don't know. Ah! This is always the hardest part though, because it gets everywhere. I don't know how to do it without it getting everywhere. I just don't want it to get in my coffee, because that would be a weird combination. You know, like I'm gonna eat them both or whatever, you know, obviously drink the coffee and eat this, but like, see, it gets everywhere. I'm like, I tried so hard. Did enough even get in there for it to be spicy enough? Probably not. And there's so many problems. And then I'm like, I could just like dip this in there to get it all off, but I know this little thing came from like a factory, so I'm like, there's no way they really cared that deeply about it, personally, you know. But doing that anyways, because, you know, like, I don't know, chemicals and microplastics, like I think I just, a long time ago, combined those in my mind and had that as like one thing, before science, as far as I knew, was like microplastics are like valid, like you are valid for like being weird about that or not wanting that. Like I kind of feel like I was like on one before the whole planet, I guess, with that. Not that it's good. Like I think there's also like tiny pieces of meat, but it's like, was it freeze dried? You know what I mean? It's like that. It's kind of giving freeze dried. It's very chewy. That was so gross. I think it had a bone. I'm not even kidding. But whatever. It was still fine. I think they put bigger pieces of meat in there to try to be nice, but it's like freeze dried meat, and that one felt like it had like a piece of bone or something, like ground up bone. That's crazy. Not really. It kind of doesn't matter. But now I'm gonna get everything set up. It's gonna be like it's gonna be, I was gonna say 3 seconds. More like 45 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna try to not accidentally end the video when I put you over there. Like, I feel like I'm kind of stupid. I do it all the time by accident. Let's see. It's like, how long does it have to be on the phone to... Ah! Like, the riskiest part, honestly. Okay. Is that fine? The legs of the tripod being jelly a little bit. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Okay. All the sugar is like sand at the bottom. I don't know what is going on in my life, and I'm the one who's choosing it, but I don't know what's going on in my life. Okay? I don't know what's going on in my life. I tell you. I don't know why or how. Something like a switch flipped in my brain, and I found out that I can call into work more times than I should have been allowed to and not lose my job. I know that's so bad. When I tell you, it doesn't make sense anymore. Back-to-back days. No excuse. How many days has it been? Like 20? Not in a row, but like in 2 months or something. Like not 20, okay, maybe like 15. Like, that's not normal. But I am making the choices. It doesn't even feel like I'm making the choices. I don't know. It's not normal. The first 10 times, my boss was kind of like, come on, like, you should have tried harder. But after that, he's just been not saying anything, like just taking me off the schedule for the day as soon as I say that. I know that's not normal. I don't know why it works. It doesn't really work. It's just like they're being nice to me for no reason. I don't know. Do you ever do something and you're like, well, it's not like I'm like the most depressed I've ever been or something, like what's going on, you know? Like I did that, but now afterwards I'm like, I did that and it worked. like it doesn't make sense anymore. It'll be like if I literally am scheduled for like 9 days in a row and I show up for like 3 of them, and then they're just like, good job, and that's it. But it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I should care more, but I don't know where that comes from. You know? Like, I should just care more. I mean, every day that I don't go in, I'll record like a lot of songs. And I know that I'm not making any money from that. But every day that I do go in, I feel like I'm wasting my life. Like, I feel like I'm wasting the next 10 years of my life, 20 years. I feel like I'm wasting the next 50 years of my life every day that I go in. And it's just like one shift. Like, and then I'm like, wow, why have I not, like, been able to reach this accomplishment or that? But it's like perceiving it like all afterwards, like, wow, why did I do that? Not perceiving it like in the moment, like I shouldn't do that. Or if it crosses my mind that I shouldn't do that, I already have like a rationalized like explanation as to why it's a great idea and not bad and perfectly fine. Like, sure, I'm supposed to care more, but like, what's gonna happen if I care more? I go into work for that one day and then feel like I wasted the next 50 years of my life. So, I don't know. I know it's stupid. That doesn't fix the fact that I don't really care if it's stupid. It's kind of bad. It was really bad. Like, I just know that me going in is like a continuation of me going nowhere with my life. It's a temporary fix, but I obviously would need a temporary fix if I'm ever going to like upgrade in my life. How can I convince myself to want a temporary fix when I know that I always had so much passion for my future? It just all went to waste because of not having like certain advantages in my life. Like, I know it sounds like a victim mindset, but I don't feel like a victim in that way because I don't have like an emotional response to it. My idea of like what a victim would be is like they'd be like crying, but I don't have an emotional response to that. It's just like, if I have to face where I am and actually process it, it's gonna be from the place of messing up because I always had such high standards for myself and for my life to the point where it was like, well, I not only can I not be seen messing up, but I can't even see myself mess up in some category of my life because then I'm not going to be able to cope with that. So getting out of the way, the fact that I do know how to cope with that, I know it sounds like stupid and terrible to other people, possibly. I think to the older generations, I would be like, so what, you're just gonna die? Like, which is not the plan. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people will take things like, oh, so you just plan to die? Like, you obviously don't care. So, damn, I don't know. I mean, not about wanting to die. I don't want to die. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe. Some people do. But you know, maybe not, but like, I just feel like I'm gonna continue to sound crazy and probably believe in more magic than exists in the world. Always, like, because I believe in, like, if somebody else can do it, why can't I do it? Even if they were just handed the opportunity, I'm like, okay, like, just because they got it first doesn't mean I can't do that too. Like, I kind of see it that way. Maybe all I need is confidence, right? In myself, to be able to represent myself, but also a lot of luck again. But I also have multiple projects I'm working on that I have to finish, but the problem is, if I get a different job, I mean, because obviously I'm kind of ruining the one I have, right? But this job, first of all, I got it before I started writing and putting out songs. And the mental space that it had me in and keeps me in is very relative to the time that I adopted the job. So it's true that the job has made me self-sabotage by just like the environment. Not that it's an unhappy environment, it's more just like the energy of the actual like company. I work at Sam's Club, like giving out samples and stuff, so yeah, I don't know. I like that at my job I'll be just like sitting there like cooking, or not sitting, like standing there cooking chicken, right? And then just giving it to people, or making tacos and then giving it to people, like, or I don't know, giving them bottled water in little sample cups. That one's kind of stupid, but I've done that before. That was my first day. Bottled water in cups. Hey guys, do you want to try some bottled water? I bet you do. I bet you do. You have to try it. It's not like the other bottled water. It's so quirky and different. For not a lot of reasons, but like, you better try it. Like, And then it like sold a lot or something, I don't know. I just have a good personality. Because like, why did I sell like multiple pallets of just bottled water on my first day? Just because I told them to buy it. But I didn't get anything out of telling them to buy it. It was just my job. That sounds so greedy. I feel like I have adopted that part of my personality though. Like I'll just get angry about like not having things like in my life. Like if I want something, I'm like, you know, the mouse or like the rat with a lever. You know how people say like that scientists did experiments on mice where like if they hit a lever they just get treats, just to see like if they trained them over time, like how they would react if they stopped getting treats. Like I'm just the mouse with the lever. Like I'll bite your face off if I don't keep getting the treats that, like I've been getting. Like it only took like 1 or 2 treats to get me initiated though. And then after that I'm like, what do you mean I don't get another one? Like, what do you mean I don't get another one? There's no world where I don't get another one. Like, I'm still gonna be here in a world where I don't get another one. Like, so, you know. My life isn't perfect, but getting other people's voices out of my head, like the ones that are like destructive, right? Because there were some that were like, I don't think everybody is like negative, but there were some that were negative, and those ones were just like controlling so much of my life that it wasn't good. It was so sad. You know? And it's like, of course, if other people could choose, they would have just not wanted me to get into any creative passion anyways. Or they would have tried to force me to do something I didn't want to do, you know? Like, there's that. So, I think part of what I don't like about my job, I mean, I don't know that I don't like it because the people are nice and stuff, but like maybe I'm outgrowing it. Maybe that's why I'm starving it, because I'm outgrowing it. Maybe. Because I'll just do it and then afterwards be like, well, to a lot of people that would have been stupid. But it didn't not work out. But to a lot of people that would have been stupid. You know? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, to be fair, I don't really walk into my job and say like, I'm so grateful that I did that today, as opposed to just not going in. So. Sometimes you have to go lower to go higher. Sometimes you have to really self-sabotage what other people think it looks like you have before you can go somewhere higher, you know? Sometimes if you have like a serious like thing that keeps coming to your mind and it's like repetitive and you can't get it out of your head, you have to do whatever it takes to work through that so that it's not a long-term problem. Sometimes you have to take it seriously, make it matter to you, outgrow things. If it means calling into work to outgrow something that was going to be a 50-year cycle in your life and it could just be 3 days instead. It's hard because it's like, of course I wanted money. Of course I wanted money. Of course I wanted money, you know? Like, of course I did. Of course I wanted to know what direction I'm going in life, and of course I wanted to, at some point, block out everything that I didn't like about everything and not face it. But right now I want it to not be a reoccurring pattern. Anything that's bothering me, even if that means taking time to separate myself, even if that means that I have to get a different job, which I know. The structures of my life don't support that, which means that I have to care more and make sure that I keep those cycles in my life forever. I'm kind of kidding, but like, you know, I think I wasn't wrong when I started to enable myself, but once other people started to enable me, I definitely didn't have a reason to change it, if that makes sense. Like, yeah. I think everything I'm doing, like, adds to my future in some way, actually. Because I've recorded a lot of songs since April, like 300 something. Well over 300, more than half another 100 over 300, you know, like something insane. And have so many that I'm working on. And so many projects that I'm working on, and ideas for albums and lyrics fully written for songs that I haven't put out. So then if people discover me in the future, when they do, they'll have so much to look back on, to look back at, and then know who I am. And when you discover a new artist, it's so cool when they have like interviews already out there and they have multiple albums or a million songs that you can listen to and be like, okay, like now that I'm a part of this journey with you, like here's everywhere we've already been and here's everywhere that we're going. And like it adds to like the reasons why you care about the story and the story continuing and being a part of it, you know. So like, you know, for some artists, they blow up overnight. They have one song out and then they're in an interview and people are like, so what do you care about? They're like, the only thing I eat is oatmeal and I like dogs, and then that's all you know about them. And then you're like, I guess I'm invested because I like this one song, but then they put out more songs and the songs are not that good. And then you're like, oh, what direction are we going? Like, there aren't so many examples that I understand the multiple directions that we're going at the same time. So I think I care about the story we're both continuing, but where is like the real, like, where are like the tree roots and like why I care about the story and where we've already been, so that I can understand, you know, my own life and how it relates to yours, and like, you know, what can I learn from this? What are the real takeaways from all I eat is oatmeal and I like dogs, you know? Like, you could be like, at most you could be like, I like dogs too. Maybe you have one. Like, it's giving zombie, right? And then oatmeal, okay, I guess you can survive for longer than I would have thought while eating oatmeal. But after that realization, you kind of lose, like, why you would have cared. And then it fades away. That's how I see it. And And I'm telling you guys about the awkward parts of my life, the mistakes, the good parts, the bad parts. You can see how my singing and writing with, you know, each project and over time evolves, gets better, and then gets a little worse, and then gets better, and then gets a little worse, and then gets better than it's ever been, and then gets a little bit worse than it's ever been, and then gets 10 times better than it's ever been. You know what I mean? Like, it's not consistent. And that's a part of growing too that nobody really tells you about. Like, you do go in a circle, like, sometimes, right? In some way, you do go in a circle with your growing. But every time you make that loop back around, you're doing a little better than you were the last time you made that version of it. So, you know. The way that I learn being different in my life after I've changed my name versus before is so funny. And I don't think people talk about it, or maybe they don't personally experience it, but I was me, but I was a different person back then in so many ways, and it's crazy. Like, I was me, but I was a different person. I can look back on, you know, photos and moments and be like, okay, like, I know who I was back then, but it was so simple to see who I was back then. I was like, I need good lighting for this photo. Like, that was like my brain. I was like, okay, like, I need good lighting for this photo, and in the photo, like, I'm gonna have, you know, colorful hair, but like it was kind of, but you know, after 10 photos of the colorful hair, I have to dye it back to brown or a natural color, or people are gonna think I'm the type of person who could only really have the look of, like, I was kind of giving model, but it's like, you're not like, you weren't a model. You know what I mean? I was kind of giving, like, am I trying to be a model? Like, what am I doing? Because what do I mean? I have to show the variety of, like, looks that I can do, or, like, nobody's gonna like me, and then whatever guy I'm talking to, they're not going to like me, because guess what? What if they don't like girls who have colorful rainbow hair? But what if they don't like girls who have never tried it? Like, it was kind of like, it was centered around, like, guys in a way, but it was also overall, like, everybody who's ever gonna see this. Like, what if somebody that I used to go to school with, like, sees this and, like, they think that I've never had colorful hair, but what if they think I didn't outgrow having colorful hair at least once in my life? Like, what if they think that it was a phase when I had colorful hair? What if I kept it for so long that it wasn't just a little thing I tried, but it was, like, a phase, which means that, like, you thought your personality was this, but, like, you were wrong, and, like, now your personality is this, and you're, like, so sorry for, like, the fact that you had colorful hair. Like, I didn't want to come across as so sorry for the fact that I had colorful hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the me that I am now, it's like, I can look back at that and be like, okay, I know exactly, like, who I was and where I was back then, but it's not that I wasn't unintelligent. Like, I would be like, okay, like, in this photo with pink hair, like, I'm gonna have to, like, try to channel, like, the energy of the most interesting person I've ever seen in my past life before this one, you know, and then I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna see it, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I've never really seen that energy, like, in this life, but, like, it does feel familiar, like, it works. You know what I mean? So I would do that. But, like, you know what I'm saying? When it's like, okay, I'm not who I was back then, and that was only, like, a few years ago. Like, I'm so different now. The way that I learn is different. Over time, after every project that I create, I'm learning all kinds of stuff. Like, ideas will just show up in my brain. Like, I'll finish an album and ideas just show up in my brain. Not just for future projects, but it'll be, like, the main takeaways from, like, what that project was, and, like, what's happening with energy, and, like, you know, like, what's happening with energy with this? Like, what does it mean spiritually to, like, put out a song, and, like, what part of myself am I using, and, like, what does it mean when I look back on these album covers and each one feels a different way to me? Like, what does that mean? Is this something I'm overcoming? Is this the future of that album that I haven't worked on yet? Like, it gets so complex, but, like, the ideas just, like, show up. I'm putting more out there and like receiving more. So, I mean, my imagination has become more complex, and I'm less likely to look at someone else's Instagram and be like, oh, they've never had purple hair, so like I've had a life experience they haven't had. You know what I mean? And I'm so much more likely to be like, it kind of doesn't matter if they do that or not. Like, it doesn't do anything because there's other parts of everybody's life that they're actually just like learning from and experiencing, and like like you know. So yeah, no wonder planning ahead didn't work that back then. I had to really fall on my face to be able to even transform into who I am now. Like, that was so hard to do and go through. Like, that wasn't gonna happen. Never in a million years, you know? But wanting to improve my life, wanting to have a better life, wanting to have a more interesting understanding and perspective of everything as I'm walking through my experience brought me to the point where I had to face myself and be like, okay, are we more than this? Like, am I more than this? Like this is a very like simple understanding and perspective of yourself. Like, are you more than that? Are you more than that? Like, what would it require to be more than that? Why would you be more than that? Is there a reason? Like, you have to actually choose that for yourself and be like, I am more than this because this is what, like, because of this and this and that. Like, you have to like be like, I understand why I would want to be. But yeah, I'm still at a very simple place in my life, but I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't even think about me before I change my name, ever. Like, this is the first time I'm really thinking about it, aside from like another YouTube video where I talked about it or something. Like, those are the only times I actually think about it. Because who I am right now in the future is like all that I actually think about. So, but I'm also becoming somebody who like changes as a person so much. Like, I feel like each day I'm more so a different person. Whereas, you know, back then I saw like hints of that, right? Like, I saw like hints of that. But I would think it was a bad thing, or I'd be scared, or I'd be like, so I'm never going to be the current version ever again, and that's going to be bad because then this person's not going to like me, and that person's not going to like me, and that person's not going to like me. But a lot of those like neurological pathways did stem from, you know, where I came from and the ways that parents and adults and teachers and schools and textbooks and everything, like the way that all of that like affected me, I guess, and friends and the opposite of friends, whatever, enemies, like the way that all of those would like affect me made me into who I was back then, and then I made me into who I am now, which in physical objects, not a whole lot. In physical objects, not a whole lot to really show for it. But I know, and me knowing that me knowing is the only thing that actually matters is important, so that I can reframe what it means for other people to know and not have it be about just showing off that I had a life experience I didn't have. Like, I would not have had the capacity to really be like happy for myself back then, because I would have been so busy chasing the next person and the next thing. Whereas now, developing that, like, I would have the capacity to just be happy for myself and also become the person that I want to be and take steps knowingly that that's where I'm going. I just feel like I don't know, I'm outgrowing everything. Anyway, it feels so performative to even talk about who I used to be, which is why I actually don't ever. Whereas now, if I were performative, it would be in just like a way that's for fun and not in a way that is just about other people and other people's perceptions and insecurity. I think even when I really learned about like tarot cards for the first time, back then it came from a perspective of like insecurity, right? Versus right now, yeah, I could do a really good reading for you because it's like the spiritual purpose of, not even saying spiritual sounds watered down, right? That's not what I mean, like the magical purpose and like what it does for the soul and what it changes in your lifetime. Like, you know, I would do it about what it changes and what it causes and what it is. I really would. Not from like an insecure perspective. Paranoid about if I'm doing the right thing somehow, or like if I'm, not because of like Christianity or anything, I'm not a Christian, I've never actually been, but like maybe when I was little, when I was in like 3rd grade, there would be like a little raffle in the classroom and I would be like, Jesus, if you're real, be the reason why I get some Reese's cups and so like those little sticky hands. Like, just let me have it and I'll believe in you for the rest of my life. And then I wouldn't get it. Nobody else would be like praying over it. I wouldn't get it and it would go to somebody else. Then I was like, okay, Jesus, you're not real. Like, I'm never gonna believe in you. I was like, if you're real, just prove yourself. Like, it's not hard. And then I was like, okay, you're obviously not real. Like, that would not have been so hard. Like, it should not be hard for like a god to just make you win one tiny raffle so that they could prove it. If you ask for like confirmation and like nothing happens at all, but then it's like, that's not how the Bible is. It's supposed to be like, no, like if you asked for like a lightning bolt, it would happen. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was not adding up from like 3rd grade on. I was like, okay, so clearly you don't care about me. Clearly you're not that real. Like, clearly you're not the one, you know. I'm not gonna believe in a weak god that can't even do that. But I also want the adventure of like, what does it mean to be somewhere other than that, you know? Clearly everyone's choosing one thing and it's not really working out for them that much. For the average one that chose that, it's really not working out. For the average one that chose that, it's not working out. So I was like, why would I do that? I'm not interested. Like, it's weird. But also where I came from was so atheist and like agnostic, which I don't know why anybody would bother being agnostic, just be spiritual in some way at that point. Because what do you mean? There might be something out there, but I don't think anybody could ever possibly know what it is. Like, what do you mean? That's your philosophy. Nobody could know, but there's something out there, and that thing has just never like thought of reaching out to anybody. Like, it actually takes on like the idea of like, there could be some form of God, but that form of God would have never wanted to ever introduce itself because it pooped out the planet and never looked back. Like, I don't know what you want. Like, I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. Not a whole lot. You don't ever ask for more than that. I would totally, as a child though, I was so desperate to like have a better life. I would either cry all day or sleep all day just to make the time pass. I was like, to be fair, it's only 18 years. I could sleep the whole thing away. I could just sleep, wake up as an adult and be like, okay, now I can just like choose my life. You know, I was like, I would also, on like a piece of paper, I would write like, please God, just let me like sell my soul. And then I would write it on a piece of paper and put it like under my pillow. Like I was doing like rituals. I was like, God, I don't even know what this means. If you're gonna take the whole thing, just do it already. Like, I was like, if you're gonna do it, just do it already, you know? Like, just let me do it. I know what I'm doing. I need a better life than this, even if it means never having future lifetimes. Like, I was like, please, just do it. I was like, God, you don't care about me anyways, just do it. I was like, God, you're like hurting me in so many ways, just do it, just sell my soul already. Like, like that was actually how I was though. Like I was a witch since like day one, I guess, but I didn't know. Like, no, I gotta figure out the whole not going to work thing. I think I just need a different job that's not gonna enable me to do that. Because most jobs would be like, you call in 3 times in a row and you're fired. This one's like 9 times in a row, let's go! Let's see if you're gonna do it next time. Like, no offense. I don't know how to not enable myself if you're enabling me. I know it's bad. It's terrible. It's terrible. But it's also like, what's the part that's terrible? The part that's terrible is like in the short term, I have to figure out either way, I was never gonna be able to save up to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of defeats like, I was just never gonna be able to. It was gonna take me so many years or something. Like it wasn't gonna, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like it was gonna take years and years and years, especially because I would just like self-sabotage and stuff like a lot because I had not outgrown all the patterns that I had to really slow down to try to fix, but it's still not getting fixed. I'm trying. But if I were to be mad at myself for doing that, I would literally be causing and perpetuating the entire cycle that I just grew up with, which was just that I'm terrible and there doesn't have to be a reason. There doesn't ever have to be a reason, I'm just terrible. And so, what am I supposed to do? I'm not just gonna be like, I hate myself, and then that's my whole life. Like, every second I just hate myself and that's my whole life. Like, that's not what I'm gonna do. So it does make it harder to be able to hold myself, like, accountable for it, but it's also like, there's not a reward system in life. There's not. You don't get anything out of, like, doing better. And you don't lose anything if you do worse. So, it's hard to take it that seriously. Like, on Earth right now, there's not good enough rewards for me to care, and there's not bad enough consequences for me to care, really. I know that bad stuff happens, but there's not bad enough consequences to get me, like, up and moving, and there's not good enough rewards to get me up and moving, you know what I'm saying? Like, realistically with myself, it's like, I guess I could settle for either one. When it's like, you know, the worst possible thing and the best possible thing, it's like, honestly, I don't care, just pick one and not tell me, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it does make me not really care that much. I need, like, way worse, a way more serious life, and, like, way better rewards out there. That was spicy in the back of my throat, but like, yeah, I don't know. No, I can't take it seriously. I just need a different job that's going to hold me accountable for my actions, and one that I don't feel like I've outgrown due to like being in a different place in life. Like, my current job, when I first started, there was not a second of me doing that job that I didn't feel like I was completely going insane. Which put me into the, like, space where I had to work on my purpose. Everything about my life makes me feel like I'm going insane all the time. And I feel like I'm outgrowing things, but I don't believe in my life upgrading because I think people will just be like, oh, well, you should believe in it. You should believe in it. You should believe in it. That doesn't mean anything. Those words don't mean anything to me. Like, believing my life could like upgrade, it doesn't even, there's no part of me that's like activated by that or like awakened by those words or like feels like, oh, that's something that like exists out there. Like there's no it happening in somebody else's life that makes me feel like I could do that also. But there's also no part of me that hasn't been 100% dedicated to that. Always. So like the fact that I've been, out of everybody who I knew, the one who's 100% like headstrong and like, of course I want to upgrade. Other people are just lazy, but they're levitating to wherever they want to be. Which makes me just like, okay, so it's not about if you care, if you upgrade. It's not about if you care. It's not about if you care to upgrade, whether or not you do. It just, people get like picked. People get picked. And then people get picked not to. So, considering it's never gonna be me, why would I really care that much? I don't know. Like, I'm not taking it seriously. Because I don't even know if I can, so I'm trying to, you know. There's not an example of like an everyday person who would think that I should upgrade, whose life I want to have or be in the position of. There's an endless supply of ones who think that I should want their life, but when we really get down to it, they don't know why I should want their life. So there's an endless supply of people who think they know better about whatever, and it doesn't mean anything. They don't even know why they think that they do. They just randomly have stuff that they were like randomly selected to levitate into, or they settled for something that they didn't actually want that much. And that was what brought them so many resources that make them confirmed in the decision to settle and never leave what they're settling for. Why would I settle for something? Not wanting to settle for anything less than the best brought me exactly where I am, so I don't know, if you don't like where I am, just don't do it. Just settle for what you have, I guess. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's so sad. But I won't. Because it does mean something to me. But, yeah. I have no idea. No idea. Not even a little bit. Anyway, I love you guys. That's all for the video. I love you. Bye.